This video has to do about the so-called separation of powers doctrine. To give us a little bit of background, we spoke about this a number of times on the show. A friend named Anthony is fighting a traffic the traffic police. And he filed a demur based on basically that there was no valid cause of action before the court. And this lawyer named William S. Hochman, a commissioner, which to me just means criminal, he denies it with no real specific explanation. He says, given the basis on which defendant posited his demur, the court finds, not court, but William Hochman. William Hochman finds that demur is wholly without merit, which means he doesn't even agree that a valid cause of action is required in order to for a court to have subject matter jurisdiction. So, if you want to sue somebody and you just want to be a jerk about it, file it into the Marin County Court. Make sure it gets assigned. Hopefully it gets assigned to this William Hochman. Beverly Wood is just as much of a criminal. And then you don't have to worry about silly things like having a valid cause of action and jurisdiction, because that's wholly without merit before people like Hochman and Beverly Wood. So what we wanted to be able to do was basically stop the execution of this guy's opinion, and they won't stop. They absolutely will not stop. Nobody will stand up to this guy, and we spoke to the enhanced collection people, and they said that there was nothing that could be done, even despite overwhelming documentary evidence that William here is wrong. They're going to carry his order out regardless. So what we did was we did get in touch with this guy. Oh, yeah, this guy. It's this County Marin. It's the Board of Supervisors, Stephen Kinsey. And impressive background drop that he's got there. And his office told me, I forget the name, who's told me that there was absolutely nothing that could be done. And she mentioned something about the separation of powers. So I figured, well, why stop there? Let's go to the top guy. So what I did was this guy, Jerry Brown. And they told me basically the same thing, but they were a little bit more condescending. Well, sir, are you aware of the separation of powers? And the governor is an executive branch, and the court is judicial. So I wanted to know. So, separation of powers. That's something that's very important to you. Could you explain how Jerry Brown, given the fact that he is a lawyer? Yeah, there you go. He's the Attorney General, for heaven's sakes. Given the fact that Jerry Brown is a lawyer and a member of the judicial branch, how could he hold executive branch office? And we do know it's executive branch because, that's the official website, Governor ca.gov, State of California, executive branch, and there you go, you got Attorney General's office. And we know the governor's office is, of course, the what they call the executive branch of office. So they didn't like that, and so they wanted to get off the phone with me. But just to prove the point here, if we go, let's blow this up a little bit. Let's go. Whoa, that's a little too much. So what we got here, this is from the Sacramento County Bar Association. And it's the same wherever you go. Where you have that a member of the bar, which comes from the Supreme Court of California, is an officer of the court. See, as an officer of the court, they're part of the judicial branch. And you have here where it states that the powers of each state government are legislative, executive, and judicial. This is from the California Constitution. The persons charged with the exercise of one power may not exercise either of the powers except as permitted by this Constitution. I haven't seen where the exception is there. So they didn't like when I asked to explain how Jerry Brown, a member of, an officer and counselor of the court, by way of the California Supreme Court, can hold executive branch office. So they basically wanted me to get off the phone. And I got to tell you, they weren't very nice about it. But, there's a surprise. So I put in a request to have a call back as a member of the media so that they could possibly explain that to me. But I doubt it. So there you have it. You've got the so-called separation of powers doctrine. And here you've got, and this is all over. It doesn't matter where it is, whether it's, because you've got a guy named Obama who's a lawyer, and he's the chief executive officer of the United States government, just like Jerry Brown is the chief executive officer of the executive branch of course, of the state of California government, and he is no doubt a member of the judicial branch. So it's all BS. It's just all BS. But I'm not holding my breath waiting for a call back and answers from Jerry Brown's office.